Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Mars!
Radiant team pick.
Vengeful spirit.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
I speak for the trees.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Medusa.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome back everyone here to ESL 1 Germany. Our series number 1 is about to get underway. Viking GG and 5 men are facing off here in the server in a best of 3 series. Winner goes 2-1, loser goes 1-2. I bet you which one of those numbers I want to be a part of. Sounds way better than 1 and 2. Am I right? I'm
yes.
right, guys.
Yes,
right.
it does sound better. Big number, good. Just like 6 men better, 5 men.
Dire
Exactly.
team
That's
ban.
it's simple. Dota's simple, guys. All you have to do is realize big
Dire
number,
team
better
pick.
small number.
Radiant
6
team
men, better
pick.
5 men.
Very good.
Just like we learned yesterday that a submarine is better than ninjas.
Yes, that is true.
But now the
There we
draft
go.
is ahead of us, boys. We're a little bit deep into this one, so let's start unpacking it as we go.
Interesting. I mean, they open up with the Venge, which they have used in the past, but they've went with the Medusa
10
approach
seconds
instead of the
remaining.
Drow.
That's common for Viking, for them to do. The thing I'm
5
most confused
seconds
about is 5
remaining.
men. With their bans, in that previous series that they won 2-0 against Viking, they opened Lina Tiny both times. Because Chessie loves playing the Tiny. It's his most favorite hero by far. And Misery, he's really good on that Lina as well. So for them to take that out of the pool, when they've got the first pick, by the way, is a little odd to me.
I'm not too sure about Lina. I think it just...
If it works against a team, it works against a team.
Sure. I mean, they might have developed that. And
New
because they
hero
have played
pop
against
champ.
they might just change their other hero picks to deal with the Lina lane. But
do you feel
Medusa here is pretty good because they can play it in the safe lane as well as the mids.
Do you feel like this is like specific for Mana Drain? Is that why they're picking the Lion to deal with Medusa?
This is a Highlight Die X hero. He used to play this hero all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
He's gone away
plays
from
it
it
as well.
huge
Misery
way.
plays it as a 4 as well.
He does.
I've seen it a
true.
few times. Do I feel like it's much more of a 4 than a 5 though? Because we haven't seen this hero at all in recent times for a good reason. Because he needs that Blink Dagger or that 8th Lens to try and make himself work, and he's very, very squishy as well.
Well, the thing here is the Nature's Prophet is a flexi pick, right? So the Lion can still be a 4 or a 5. It doesn't really suit Paladai's most relative heroes because it's more medic type heroes. So perhaps it might be a position 4 line in that scenario, and it'll be pretty nice pair up with the Mars. The problem here is it seems like Clock's been left until the second phase and they've already picked it up, and it's a really good Clockwork game. They can pair it up in the safe lane with the Medusa if they want to do something else with the Venge, but that doesn't seem like it's going to, because now we have an Undying that can be position 5, it can be position 3 perhaps even. Toby has a really unorthodox heroes pool, so I wouldn't be surprised if he actually plays this hero as well.
Yeah, and I think if you put it in that pos 3 role, then you can go this more greedy style. You know, you see Guardian Greaves into Aghanim Scepter, for example, and you just be that huge frontliner that a Medusa needs to be able to just sit back and right-click, especially with the assistance coming through from the Venge. But we're seeing a Zeus, they're saying, we don't want to let it get to that stage.
Well, this is no surprise as well. We actually saw this in the game against NIP, I believe. Played this global strat. They played really well that game. I think that was the first game of the series against NIP, and they were quite behind early game. They managed to make these Furin rotations paired up with the position 4. They got a lot of reactions, which forced the enemy to play a little bit more reactive and passive, and that allowed them to get back into the mid game.
And then they lost a couple of crappy Roche fights. They lost, but you know, you can't put that entirely onto the draft. You know.
Team ban.
They do have good team fight though with this Mars. You know, it's going to allow the Lion and the Zeus a little bit of safety, but I don't think you can have the Mars be the one and only, right? The one that can just stand in on the front lines. And honestly, to pick a Dusa into a Mars as well is a little bit risky.
The way I see this game is we got Viking GG, which is a little immobile as a lineup. But they obviously have very fast timings if the Medusa comes online, and I think he's going to have a decent start. And they have very strong lanes as well when it comes to Viking GG. But on top of that, it's very easy for them to get kiteable because you have Furin, you have this global presence, you have a lot of CC from the line as well as the Mars. So you don't actually have to force fights. You just got to make sure you can trade effectively or trade with numbers more effectively because now you have the global presence. But at the same time, this is a pretty free clock game. And I just don't see how he's not going to have a pretty good start into early level 6 rotations. Zeus is going to be having to force into the jungle perhaps, and Medusa is going to be more free to jungle because this clock is just amounting to a lot of pressure.
So with what Viking want to pick up next, it's seeming most likely to be the mid hero. It just needs to be something that's going to be able to delay the game for as long as possible, because you can see with Viking, they're just banning out these hyper late game carries. Anti-Mage gone, Spectre gone, Drow, not really hyper late game, but has the potential for it, and the Arc Warden as well, and the Void is gone.
Well, the interesting thing is that this line pick might have been a preemptive pick because normally the mid laner from Viking GG, Boom, he plays these more published type heroes, mobile fighting heroes, Ember Spirit, Storm Spirit, and Lion's really good against all of them.
He's gone as well, man.
It might have been a preemptive pick.
They banned like all of the
carries?
hyper late game carries except the Deucer, and then they picked it up for themselves.
Yeah, they banned 6 carries and an IO. So it really does feel like this meta is very much focused on these position 1. But he talked about a little bit here, Darcy, the fact this line might be a little bit preempted. But what about 5 men? They need something either extremely fast paced, right, to try and run over this Deuce, or they need their own hyper carry, right? And there's nothing left.
Well, the thing is, Ace tends to play hard carries no matter what, right? So I don't think they'll change that. Maybe they'll just change the hero, as you said, because all the other heroes are banned.
What about something like a Lone Druid?
Not really his style, though. I'm just keen to see what Vikings' last pick is going to be. I'm kind of feeling the puck a little bit. You know, you can just keep those lanes shoved out. It's an okay matchup into the Zeus, and it's going to be a PL. Okay, something, a diffusal builder. Yeah, it's nice. That split shot is going to be soaked up by all of the illusions as well, which is going to be quite nice.
Well, theoretically, it's a pretty good Phantom Lancer game because it's great against Medusa. They have a lot of single target damage, and Dying does nothing against Phantom Lancer. So the Phantom Lancer should have a decent lane, but it really depends on the last pick and the approach that they want to go for this. Because right now, we still don't know for sure where the Medusa is going to go. It can be mid, it can be safe lane.
Most likely to be safe lane, I would say.
So I would like a fast hero from Boom here. Something along the lines as we mentioned, the Spirits, the Ember Spirit would be pretty nice.
Ember Spirit was my number 2 choice.
Storm Spirit is banned, so that's not an option. Invoker is one of his primary heroes, is also banned. So I guess Ember Spirit would be a good fit, but I'm worried that it's not really going to get ahead in the mid lane against the Zeus. We saw it yesterday as well, at Thompson against Limp, I believe.
And it's just specifically targeting. Like, you can see Viking GG, they're like, Ace, we don't want you to have a game. We want you to be as uncomfortable as possible. Same thing with 5 men. They're like, boom, 5 of your heroes out of the pool. Yeah. So really all that's left is that Ember Spirit. There's the Shadow Fiend, but I'm not feeling super strong about that. I feel like they need a little bit of at least pseudo crowd control. In Shadow Fiend, sure, you've got the Requiem for that, but you've got a fair few ways to interrupt it as well.
Yeah, they also play Tiny, but it's great against Zeus, but it's not so good against Phantom Lancer the later the game goes. And I just feel like you need some sort of mobile hero here because you're going to get ratted a little bit, especially if you get ahead. So yeah, they did go for the Tiny.
Okay. So they're just, I mean, it's a little weird, right? Like going kind of all in on this more early game before the Phantom Lancer is going to come online. So it's Viking putting a lot of faith in different people at different stages of the game, right? It's like, boom, you're going to crush the mid lane, and then Shad, at 30 minutes, we just need to win because otherwise 5 men have a lot of ways to come back into this. They've got pretty damn good late game.
Well, I do like the Tiny pick because it's going to really roll through the mid lane. It's going to get a fast blink. With the fast blink, he can rotate it to the side lanes. Very easy for them to punish the Phantom Lancer once he gets that combo out as well. And it accelerates their timings as well and gives Shad an easier time to just farm until the 20-minute mark.
It's also an offlane Vengeful Spirit Lance for Toby here. So Viking GG are going to be playing a position 5 Undying as well there for Soleri. But lads, where we're seeking here with our predictions. A bit of an interesting draft from both these teams. The new heroes and
5 seconds remaining.
Hero player matchups. What are we thinking?
I'm going Viking GG. I just like their tempo. I think Boom's going to do a lot of work this game with the Tiny, and accelerating Shad's timings is just crucial. Once you get to the 20 to 25 minute mark, that's when you're going to start grouping up, and I don't think the Phantom Lancer is going to have an easier time early game, so I don't think he'll be able to fight into that.
What about you, Matt?
I'm going to give Zibby a birthday present and go for 5 men.
All right, so it looks like my panel once again a split down the middle here. 50-50, 5 men and Viking GG. One apiece for our predictions here. So now, as we get ready for game number 1, we're going to leave it with our casters for our first series of today, and it's going to be Gareth on Lacoste.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, here we are. Game 1 of this best of 3 as both teams are at 1 apiece in this modified Swiss stage of ESL 1 Germany. I'm Gareth, joined by Lacoste, who's looking beautiful today. How you doing?
Thank you. Just today, Gary? Well,
especially beautiful today.
Especially beautiful today. Okay, we're going to go with that. I'm feeling good. You know, this is a matchup that should be close. On paper, looking at these 2 drafts, I'm leaning a bit more towards Vikings draft. They have Medusa Venge. It's a super scary lineup in the late game. They banned out most of the late game carry heroes. Not too many options were left in the pool for them. We had a talk. Slark, Phantom Lancer, one of these 2 options. They decided to go for Phantom Lancer. I still don't think Phantom Lancer is a tier 1 carry compared to like tier 1 carries like a Faceless Void. He has weird spikes, like power spikes, where he gets Diffusal Blade. He's strong, but he's also very burstable, considering the heroes that he's playing against. It's tiny, and it's also a core tiny. Remember, that's not a position 4 tiny. That's going to be level 3, sometimes 7-8 minutes in. This is tiny. That's going to be super level 10 minutes in, possibly like 12 to 15 minute blink dagger, and you're going to need to be very careful. They just needed a hero that's going to go in, make some chaos on top of Clockwork, and just buy time for Medusa. Tiny is also a hero that scales, but you have this late game insured with Medusa pick.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be the active hero, going around slapping people in that early stage of the game and allow Shad on that Deucer just to sit in the triangle and safely farm away. And they've got a pretty good 4-man kind of grouping gank squad with Clockwork. The core Vend, as the panel mentioned, Toby's going to be picking that one up as Bounty Rune battles begin. Highlight Ace down here, but they're up against 3 with the decay landing on both. Nice pickup of the Bounty Rune by Ace, but he might find himself in trouble because of it. What's he level? Doppelganger first to try and escape away. He's being body blocked a little bit by his own illusions and the Treants. One more hit, it might just do it, but they've been stopped in their tracks. Highlight there, bodyguarding his PL all the way back to the tier 1.
Bodyguarding and body blocking himself, you said. Well, Phantom Lancer running low on region, 480 HP. Already losing 8 strength from that decay.
Now Highlight is in trouble. Clockwork straight on top of a secondary target, and Toby not able to close the gap again. Those Treants just getting in the way. Oh, nice little deny, double deny from Highlight. Killing off his Treants. Don't give anything to your opponents.
Denied.
Already some early action in this game, and we can only expect it to produce even more as these lanes develop.
It's not a green Clockwork lane. A lot of the damage will be shared between the Phantom Lancer illusion from the Doppelganger and the Nature's Call. So it's gonna be very hard for them to maximize the battery assault damage. Let's check how mid's doing. 5-1 against 5-3 on Zeus. We already talked about Zeus. We see it more often where he doesn't use Arc Lightning just the last hit. His base damage is insanely good, 72 with a couple of mantles and circlets.
I wouldn't expect him to have more denies than the Tiny though. Is that just Chessie being a little bit skilled?
I mean, this matchup, like, you know, maybe it's their first game of the day. They woke up a bit late. So you miss a CS here and there, but it's easy to last with Zeus. Like, his base attack time is also improved over the last year, so he's a decent hero, you know. He's not just about the Arc Lightning.
Absolutely right. Now Boom does have his bottle out, so should be able to sustain himself both HP and mana to keep spamming out the combo. We haven't really looked up towards top lane much. Did see a nice little move by Misery. He earlier on dragged the creep wave back, trying to secure himself and Zibe level 2. Lion is a little tiny bit away from it, needs a touch more experience, but they have zoned Celery out of lane. He's going all the way back to Fountain and leaving Shad alone here. Misery's thinking about going in with a stun, the spear to connect on the trees. It's not an easy kill, but Mana Shield isn't on, it looks like. Shad finally turns it on, but it's all too late. First Blood's filled. I think you're going to be wondering, why didn't Shad have his Mana Shield on already?
That's a good question, but I loved what Misery did. He was just saving a point to see if he's gonna go for mana drain, and he saw opportunity, got the Hex off, good rotation from Zibe, went around Medusa, actually God's Rebuke, towards their own tower, and they got a kill. And usually, Undying is not the hero that gets bullied. He's the one who's trying to zone out people out of the lane.
Well, they're trying to go on Zibe now. Sorry. Force the stick charges. Good spear back means that the additional decays won't be coming. And they do remove that Observer Ward, which giving them a few pains in this lane. Misery's also going to take a bit of a beating, but Celery has just returned to lane. He's got one tango, a couple of mangoes, and already running very low on regen. There's down bottom, Phantom Lancer battling with Aramis, forcing the battery assault. Ace.
Oh, would you look at that? Phantom Lancer with Ring of Tarak. It's been a while since I saw that item being picked up first.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've seen lots of, rings of regen, double rings on Void especially. They're going to be giving him that extra HP regen as Pylai die. And now the target of choice for Viking. He's popped the stick and he's got under his tier 1. Oh, that final right click.
Come on, Ice Frog. Like, that was 400 range hit.
Somehow manages to extend his arms out. Now Ace, who went for the cross kill, is going to take a few hits from Toby. It's always funny how that works. Melee attack from range. What was it called? Melee attack motion buffer or something? Where the hero...
Never heard of that term, Gary.
Yeah, you have.
That I've been playing Dota for half of my life.
I've definitely taught you this before. Remember when Fiend's Grip, we used to see Fiend's Grip cast from like double range? Oh, top, Undying. Again, stunned by Misery coming in from that right-hand side. Zippe, he's going to walk this one off. Shad can't give chase. The slow, sluggy
Radiant's
Medusa.
top tower is under attack.
Not really quick on her feet, is she?
It's a great start for Lion, where he gets the first blood, has Tranquil Boots, and a stick. At level 4, you're going to have a point in mana drain. Unless you die, you never have to go back and heal. Tiny making the first rotation with the haste rune.
Who's he hunting? They spot the Lion. I think Boom should be able to close the gap on this one. Misery. He's going to have to do some fancy footwork here to dance out of danger, but Boom cutting through the tree. Misery hiding. No way is he escaping. Oh, the avalanche comes too late.
Celery pinged it because he hit him with the DK. He saw that he has 8 instead of 4. Pinged it out, but Tiny did not follow the lead. Now Zeus is level 6, so they can start playing more aggressive on their side lanes. Like top should be an easy kill with the God's Rebuke and Thunder God's Wrath. But
Yeah,
it's just not called God's Wrath.
God's Wrath. There's too many gods in this game. Mars wouldn't be too happy about that. And also, Pylai is hit level 3, so now with the 2 points in tree, and if they do go for the global maneuver, they could potentially convert it into a tower if they've got a catapult wave going. And Misery misses stun up top. Could have been a kill on Celery. But the Undying just slides away. It's a lot of slow-moving heroes in this game. Medusa, Undying, Zeus.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday. Tempo had Underlord. They had Treant Protector, so it's very hard to make a move with these type of heroes. Toss back on the mid lane.
Yeah, they're trying for it. Trying to take down the Zeus as TP from Prophet arrives. Chessie survives, and Boom is down. A double kill for Chessie. As the Arcane Rune Zeus really makes it work, especially with the backup and help of Pylai.
Well, this is one of those ganks where it backfires so easily. Zeus popped the Arcane Rune instantly. 4 points in Arc Lightning, the build that we see more often from the Zeus these days, where he just wants to spam up the waves, push it out so he's not in danger, and continue farming the jungle. Gonna make a stack for himself. Oof, this is not a good start. Like, in terms of net worth, they just got 2 kills, but the game is pretty even, less than 1k gold lead for 5 men.
It feels like the heroes that the kills are on really matters a lot here. You know, Tiny dying once, his first rotation failing, Medusa dying in lane. And you know, as Viking, like you were saying, they need this Tiny really to pop off in the mid game, able to give that Medusa space and time to farm. But if Tiny's having a bad game, you can only expect Medusa then to have that kind of a knock-on effect. And she's going to struggle as well.
Now, he really popped off when Zeus used Arc Lightning 7 times on him in previous gank.
He popped out for the shops. Sphere up top and dying. Well, fall. Left alone, can Pylai die? Keep the Medusa trapped? No, doesn't even bother with the Treants. Well, instead focus on Aramis's Clockwork with the Thunder God's Wrath and the rotation from Boom coming in, stopped by Misery's stun. 5 men looking just to retreat. Lion does get comboed by the Tiny and finished off at long last. Viking gets something done with that Tiny movement.
This takes away pressure from the Phantom Lantern. He is the hero that loves to be left alone, so he can farm both lane and the jungle. Has a Faded Brooch for himself, some extra mana and movement speed. He might start playing aggressively on Toby, because he knows TPs are on cooldown. For the enemy, they already made a rotation on the top lane.
And they have this haste rune on Zeus. So Chessie right now, okay, he's farming a medium camp, but he could very quickly get up into another lane as they initiate top once again. Aramis, the Clockwork, trapped in the middle of 3 Radiant heroes, while Scylla and Shad is trying to skirt around this fight. Aramis still alive. Misery's going forward, looking for a stun, aims it towards Medusa, but she sidesteps that, and Tiny has Avatos Pylai die. Zibbe's trying to bash them back with the God's Rebuke, while Zeus, hasting forward, does find the Clockwork kill. It took a while. They get it done in the end, while bottom, okay, Toby looks all right. It's not comfortable by any means, though, having Lancers spammed at you non-stop.
Oh, he found him.
They found Zib at top, you're right. Mars tries to spear back, but Celery with Boom. They're low on mana here, no spells
Symphony
really
of
remaining.
skills.
Dire's middle tower
Zibe
is under attack.
cutting through the trees, hulking up. He gets the arena off, but the big bone tossed in by Boom. Smashes into the side of Mars.
Meanwhile, on the mid lane, they're just putting the pressure on tier 1 tower, so the map will open up. They have this global
Dire's
presence.
middle tower
Finally
has fallen.
die. Only level 4 at this point, but the rest of the team is super high leveled. Mars is level 6, like 8 minutes in.
Been pretty okay. That tier 1 tower in the mid lane, super important here as well for 5 men.
Gift from the goddess.
I am starting to worry about Tiny. I don't know about you, Lacoste, but beginning to feel that the map that he can actually play into is getting smaller every second he plays.
I could do
They
with
need to
more
start
of
playing
that.
aggressively. Clockwork buys the tome for himself, get himself to level 6, and get a smoke, usually try to make stuff happen, and this is exactly what just happened. Tiny needs to be involved, like they need the burst damage coming out from Tiny, and if possible, try to get Tiny the last hit so he gets that blink dagger, because his early game was not as good
Dire's
as we
top
expected.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, this is the
Dire's
ideal place to
structures
try
are
and play into as well. Once you come down into that bottom lane, take that tier 1, you defend your triangle by playing offensively. If you're in the Radiant jungle, it's very difficult for 5 men to play through you into the triangle, and Medusa should be hiding in. And mid lane, they do get a toss into Fogs. A combo there onto Pylite Die is a simple killing spree for Tiny. Like you said, closing in on that blink dagger now.
Double damage.
Dire's top tower.
Meanwhile, the
has
bottom
fallen.
lane bench just pushing the
Radiant
tower.
structures
Ace
are
managed to take the
fortified.
top tower, going for that
Radiant's
diffusal
bottom
blade.
tower is
Kind of a
under
standard
attack.
stuff on PL if he's not playing against too much magic damage. Sometimes it's diffusal blade, sometimes it's
Bye Medusa! Holy crap! Misery with the help of Zeus absolutely annihilate the Medusa. Celery, wrong place, wrong time, trying to back up his buddy, but Boom can't come in to do anything either. Finger of Death with all of Zeus's nukes. That Medusa does not last long.
Toby,
Oh.
you will not find him. Wave of Terror was on cooldown because it's only level 1. Maxing out stun, like it's a lot of magical damage, but you have Medusa in the team. Would still prefer if he went for like 2 points in Magic Missile and just max it, just to mix it up, Wave of Terror and the Aura.
Yeah, getting that minus armor super handy. And you've got this Medusa, but I guess Shad not going to be involved too much for the next 7 or 8 minutes. Just going to be hiding in the jungle, farming neutral creeps. As 5 men do draw a lot of attention up towards top with that good spear back and the full retreat, the toss forward. And it's just on creeps. Boom takes down the majority of the stack.
Misery is having a dream game. About to have a blink
Oh my
dagger.
God.
13 minutes in.
Right. Tranquils, raindrops stick, and there it is. 13-minute blink. If it was difficult for the Medusa already, it's about to get much, much worse.
And one of the reasons why they picked Medusa is the mana burn coming out from Lion, mana drain, and they will have mana burn from the PL's Diffusal Blade, which is coming out shortly.
Yeah, he's just farming through Ancients right now. The rest of the squad back to defending their towers. Viking not posing much of a threat towards objectives out of the map just yet. So it seems pretty chill. As Pylite Die can clear out that more or less safe bottom lane. Lightstone boots
Radiant
and a
are
Wraithband.
scanning.
Wraithband queued up on Pylite Die. What's that about, Lacoste?
There's some extra armor, but I don't think he's gonna go for it. Otherwise, he would just buy it.
Let's see where he does head into. Obi wants to get into mech, it looks like. Went for treads. So Greaves not going to be the perfect lined up item build for him. And yeah, he backs away as he sees the fake TP from Pylite Die. And Zibe on that high ground, threatening to jump the poor little Venge. Zeus with 7,000 net worth right now. Full stab Etherland. Top lane where action's happening. Boom has showed himself on the map, and that is
Radiant's
the
top
global
tower
initiation
is
that we
under
want.
attack.
Gap close from the Phantom Rush, the Blink Dagger, and that TP from Prophet allows them to get straight on top of Tiny. And now look at the line drawn. Let's go triangle, guys. Tiny's dead. Let's go hunting the Medusa.
Keep fighting. Like, Zeus is extremely powerful at the moment. Etherland has Force Staff just
Dire's
to
middle
counter the
tower
Clockwork
is under
play.
attack.
And Misery can set things up. Global presence from the Nature's Prophet, one blink initiation should be enough. Like, if they have Finger of Death ready, or if there's Wrath of Nature plus Zeus ulti, they can pretty much kill anyone.
All that in the mid lane. Massive amounts of nuke damage. I'm just looking into this dire jungle right now. 3 Prophet trios, all scouting out the ramps. Pylai is using them as wards, basically.
You see what Pylai is doing on bottom? He's just keeping the lane static. Like, he does not want to push it out. He's been farming here for a very, very long time.
Yeah, how much gold has he got? He's
Dire's top tower is under
got
attack.
something coming to him.
Even I.
Like Medallion and Treads, as Misery does get found in that jungle, thanks to the high ground observer ward, which he does ping out. So even with the
Dire's
treants there,
top tower is under
wasn't
attack.
able to stay safe. So a bit more room now for the Medusa with the Hand of Midas. Heading into Yasha, it looks like. And 5 men kind of waiting for the Mars Blink to make their next big move. They're not in any rush, really.
They're not. The game is going well for them, but Viking, you know, they feel they lost the laning stage, so they want to recover. And they also want to try to get a pick off with Clockwork and Tiny. They have a good initiation now that Tiny has a Blink Dagger. Medusa decided to go for evasion talent instead of damage. Like, I'm digging it. You know, you're playing against the PL and all the illusions. You're gonna get so much more value out of it.
True. It's been interesting to see the kind of shift in talent choices. You know, they've had a few nerfs and changes here and there. Now we're seeing a lot more of the damage attack speed rather than the Mystic Snake talents.
Do you think there's a guy that knows all the talents in Dota?
I'm sure there is.
Like level 20 Medusa talent. Left one. Like, wait, I need to
Radiant's
think.
bottom tower is under
Don't
attack.
hover over it and look.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I'm sure there are plenty of people that remember. I'm sure Purge knows, honestly.
Dire
He's
are
very good with
scanning.
the intricacies of Dota like that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dire scan connecting in their own jungle, and they've got to know, especially that Medusa has to know people are up on that high ground. And this mid-tier 1 is a thorn in the side for Viking. It's still up on the Radiant side. They
Radiant's
can't get
middle
towards
tower
it.
is under
PL's
attack.
defending with illusions. Really waiting off to the left side so he's not a target for them to go on. That's the kind of positioning that you really can see, and it's very easy to notice that Ace knows where the enemy are, and he knows exactly how to defend that mid lane without showing himself up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Highlight Die changing his item build multiple times, now TPing on the
Dire's top
bottom.
tower is under attack.
Sometimes I have a feeling that he just wants to die. Like, fish for any kind of information, see where they are. I'd rather die and let my carry die. That's his mentality.
Hey, what's his Steam name? Funny Little Fish or something? Very small fish.
I think it's a small fish, yeah.
Just a small fish, yeah. He's just floating around, swimming into the big ocean, looking for any sharks. He's going to draw a lot of them down here. Tiny, Venge, Clockwork, Undying. The 4-hero Death Squad, which we kind of expected from Viking to get a lot of action and chaos happening early on. They're still trying to
Dire's
force
top
the
tower
issue.
is under
But it's
attack.
great play from 5 men, spreading
Radiant's
wide across the
middle
map,
tower is
knowing
under
that Medusa's
attack.
going to be back in the pocket, while Viking play tight together elsewhere. So the efficiency of farming here from 5 men, very apparent in the first 20 minutes.
Fele, found by
top tower is under
Viking, so
attack.
they're gonna give that item to Undying. It's the best item, I mean, especially in the game where you are on the side that needs to recover. Having Philosopher's Stone is just too good.
Shad, a little bit worrisome. Loses half of his mana, Celery jumped by the Lion and zapped down. Boom does get the trade with the Lion at least, the Avatos combo. Boom and Shad back away though. Another stack up on Misery's Finger of Death kills. Up to 3 at this point.
Viking lineup is good at going in with Tiny and Clockwork and just trying to burst out one target, but they can't reset like how 5-man can do it. With Zeus, like you want this prolonged team fights where you're gonna be using good spells multiple times, and it goes for Phantom Lancer in and out with the doppelganger resetting. So if the team fights are gonna last for a long time, this benefits 5-man much more.
Yeah, Viking heavily reliant on the swap from Toby. And it looks like he is going to go back into Greaves. Preds Greaves for the Vengeful Spirit position 3. A smoke from 5-men. They are fully ready now. Blink Mars, Arena of Blood. Chessie with level 2 Thunder God's Wrath. He's about 800 away from his Aghanim Scepter. Pretty close. Highlight die on the enemy side of the map. He's found them.
A gift from the
He found them real good.
Dire are scanning.
Well, that would be.
So they were wondering, like, what's going on? You know, we have Nature's Prophet scouting things out. Maybe they're doing Roche. So they use a scan inside the pit. Does not connect. 2 missed scans.
Yeah, everyone trying to feel out the map, figure out where people are. I don't think... Oh, they do. There's one more smoke on Clockwork here. 4k lead for 5-men. But I guess Viking with this Midas Medusa, now Dragonlance Maelstrom as she shifts her item build around a fair amount too. BKB and Mjolnir coming up to deal with that Phantom Lancer especially.
It's just because Phantom Lancer was the last pick, and it's a good counter to Medusa in terms of like spreading the damage between split shot on the illusions, so she needs to adjust her item build. She's already at mana.
Yeah, she has to pop Stone Gaze and get healed up by Celery. Dropping Tombstone down, but a quick doppelganger away. And Toby down bottom as the fight breaks out there. They found the Vengeful Spirit. Mars wants to get on top of the Tiny. Earn on him so he can't blink forward. The TP forward, the blink out from Boom, and the TP away. Where's the spear? It's on cooldown. Already used by Zibe. A decent escape from Viking, but it looks so dangerous when you're losing a fight bottom 3v3 and then a fight middle. Your Medusa's nearly dying as well.
Dire's
Strength of
middle
5-men when
tower
they
is
are
under
grouped up
attack.
as 5-men is going to be massive.
I want to see how this fight is going to go once Medusa has a BKB. Because if they lose a fight once she has a BKB, it's a really bad sign. You know, this Phantom Lancer is gonna get out of control. He's been involved in 2 kills, but just silently farming, going for Scotty next item. Scotty just destroys any type of ranged heroes.
Tiny, even though he's 6'2", doesn't feel like he's been able to get a firm grasp on this game. Echo Saber, DD bottled up. He's working towards a BKB of his own. Five men on a de-warding mission now. I've got to know that Roshan's going to be a big point of contest here for both sides in the next 2-3 minutes or so. And Viking wants to try and break the mold. They're coming out of their base past the tier 2. Zeus does have a 4-staff, as well as that Nimbus ready thanks to the Aghanim Scepter. Oh, the hook shot into the back of Tiny. The Avalanche misses. And Chessie just forces away. Smoke comes to nothing.
You remember that song that was used?
We are electric.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you said it, that's what's in my head.
Seems like Viking,
What was it? It was Wodota, right?
It was Wodota, yeah.
Yeah.
Viking said, like, these fails of the week videos are, you know, being really weak right now. Let's give them some good content.
Yeah, some professional competitive content.
Radiant's
But it has
middle
been
tower is under attack.
very systematic and very smooth from 5 men, it has to be said. They've not been giving anything up. They've been defending their towers. One thing they haven't really done Is did the Medusa or found her while she's farming?
Just very
That
close to
BKB.
BKB.
Yeah. Top of the net worth still. But Roshan time it is. 5 man into the pit. And right now, Viking with no real
Radiant's
form of
bottom
contest.
tower is under attack.
Rocket Flare is ready. I'm not sure if he's already sent one in there. But he should be now. Get vision of Roshan at half HP. And Viking have got to make a decision. It looks like they're just going to stick around elsewhere on the map. Let 5 men have this Aegis. The next fight will be with that BKB of Medusa you've been mentioning. Or TP top. Toby gets found, the Nimbus and the Sprout, and the Finger of Death to make sure the Venge is really out of this game.
They have so many things to set up in Nimbus, with just Lion keeping them in place, Mars Arena, even a Sprout is a good tool.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Lots of circles. Hold them inside that Nimbus. Highlight die with full Crimson Guard now. If you thought your Medusas were, she was going to be the real heavy hitter, the be-all and end-all of carries in this game. A lot of
Dire's
mitigation
middle tower is under
coming
attack.
through from 5 men.
changes hands.
Now, he's the type of a hero that can build pretty much any item, and in this situation, I think it's justified just to mitigate damage coming out from Medusa's split shot. The rest of the team doesn't deal that much physical damage. Like Tiny is trying to build up so that they have a scaling carry. Echo Saber, more burst damage, but he also has a BKB. He's playing against Zeus, against Lion. He makes one bad jump. Alright, talking about the bad jump.
Aramis is on the high ground somehow. Not sure exactly what happened there, but the clockwork falls after Firelight Eye's life is dropped, and Ace is doppelganging away, still holding Aegis for the toss forward of the Vengeful Spirit, looking for the main PL, but force that out. Jesse helps. Saves the Phantom Lancer from the chase. So just swapping out support for support there. Keeping the Aegis in the hands of the Phantom Lancer now, though. A big bonus for 5 men as that fight broke out in a very awkward fashion.
If we zoom in on Vengeful Spirit, we can see that she has 2 legs, which means that she needs to buy 2 boots, power treads, and mana boots.
Ah, that explains it. See, I was sitting here wondering why on earth are you doing that, but wonderful, wonderful analysis there, Lacoste.
Well, I guess he just bought treads for the laning stage and then realized we're gonna need some sustain, we're gonna need some kind of a
Dire
heal.
are scanning.
No one else is getting too much farm, nor Undying, and neither Clockwork, so yeah, I need to be the one tanking up for the team. We have Medusa as the late game carry. She's getting closer to level 20. Passive Midas, we also want to use that item whenever it's up, but already cleared all the stacks already.
There's no creeps anywhere. And a smoke from 5 men broken. Aramis scouted by Thunder God's Wrath and Celery. Obliterated while the Medusa pops the Stone Gaze and the BKB. Trying to push the damage forward onto Misery. He's got a Finger of Death ready and he'll try and throw it out, but in comes Boom with the Avatar's combo. Down you go, and Medusa still stands to the ground. Swap back by Toby. Trying to be saved up with the Mech and the Arcanes, but the Vengeful Spirit hands her life over and forfeits the fight as Viking again running away.
Right now, I think 5 men are way too strong because they can reset the fight. Medusa pops the BKB. If they can just leave with
Dire's
1
middle tower
casualty,
is under attack.
it's still fine. End of Midas not used yet.
That feels bad.
She's very close to finishing Mjolnir, so
Dire's
that's gonna
middle
help out
tower
dealing with the
has
PL
fallen.
and the illusions.
As that BKB wears down, Zeus and his efficacy in this game is only going to increase. I feel like Zeus is also a pretty good late game hero, you know, with his talents and with the itemization he goes for. When those BKBs start wearing down, he becomes
Dire's
incredibly
bottom
potent.
tower is under attack.
Problem is, like,
Dire's structures
they need
are
to deal with the heroes that are in front line, and that's Pilot Die just, you know, keeping in front of them with Crimson Guard and Power Grids 2000 HP saying, what up, you're gonna hit me? Then you can't hit Zeus, and Zeus is dealing so much damage
Dire's
from the
bottom
backlines.
tower
Also
is
has
under attack.
Throttled
Bottom
Arcane
tower
Rune,
has
not too
fallen.
bad.
Pretty good. Okay, man, Paladai nearly has... Oh, going Halberd. Switches to Vlad's now. I was really excited to see Halberd profit with Crimson Guard just do what you were saying, tanking up the front lines. Putting that disarm onto the Medusa.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower
Venge did finish
is
off the
under attack.
Greaves. Pretty potent when you've got a Medusa on your team as well, both HP and
Dire's
mana,
bottom tower
restoring
has
her.
fallen.
Yeah, she might
her
also
topped
need
up.
to get, or at least try to get pipe for the team because there's too much magical damage.
They've jumped Medusa immediately in on top of Shad, and where did she go? The slug lady's gone.
She has no buyback left. Without Medusa, they have no damage. So this is at least one set of racks. 65 seconds without
Dire's
Medusa.
structures are falling.
It honestly feels like it might just be game over. Ace can frontline for days. Aegis does get reclaimed. The tier 3 dropping. And Medusa nowhere near buyback. Needs 1,000 gold for it. Boom
Dire's bottom
from the left-hand side,
tower is under attack.
thinking about jumping in, but there's not really a target he can go on. And if you go in now as Viking, you're probably just going to bleed out and lose the other 4 remaining heroes anyway.
Dire's bottom barracks.
And
Give up
5
the
men,
racks.
they know Medusa does not have buyback, otherwise she would use it so they can continue, maybe try to get another kill on her. They could finish the game. Everyone is pretty much full HP, full mana.
Well, there are bounty runes to be collected. But bottom lane now wide open. Mid lane being considered here as 5 men will take control of that dire triangle and just play into both of those lanes together. Pylai dies TP'd out to get some bounty runes on the other side of the map. And then he can try and connect this lane all the way through top towards the tier 3 there. And you've got this situation where Viking can't even leave the base.
At this point, Medusa might consider just straight up getting a Divine Rapier if she can farm it. I see MKB, but I think you need to risk it because you are running out of options.
I'm just wondering if the Medusa's going to even be able to kill PL Illusions or do anything this game anyway against Mars. Arena of Blood and Bulwark, both incredibly good against Medusa.
Radiant's middle tower.
Especially when you've got this... I guess you've got
structures
dual
are fortified.
carry with the Tiny as well as Medusa. So you will be relying on Boom still to do a lot of the damage in these fights. But Medusa's been pretty much neutered. Oh, they tried the spear back, the swap's there, and Mars in the middle of 5 gets blown up. Out of the water, and the Finger of Death trades for Toby. So the offlaners, both were removed. And Lion, you're right, but the hook shot in, catching Pylai die. Aramis is in deep, and Ace will focus him down. The clockwork removed as Boom tries to face up against Ace, but this Phantom Lance is so tanky, so strong. He's basically 1v3ing the double Nimbus now, landing on Boom, and Ace will give chase in onto Tiny. Burns through all of his mana with a Diffuser Blade, and Celery's going to be the next port of call. The 2-man stun there, and Medusa is now all on her own. This might be the signal to call it, because Viking just lost 5 heroes in a row. A team wipe for 5 men. A beautiful, beautiful execution as well.
I don't think they are in a position where they can just park Medusa and try to take towers by port because it's a 20k gold lead for 5 men. And Phantom Lancer, he's not contested. Like, they're not even trying to kill him. He's sitting at 3,000 HP. SNY, Basher, Scotty, he gets on top of 1 target. He's dead. They really lack any kind of AoE magical damage.
Well, they do have buybacks. And there's one of them. Tiny with 20 seconds to go returns to the battlefield. Medusa's buyback costs 1.7k. And if you buy back on her, you're delaying any kind of itemization that would allow you to maybe turn the game and win.
Yeah, just say
But she
buyback
has
for
to do
game
it.
number 2.
Say buyback game 2, yeah, why the hell not? Shad inside the Arena of Blood. What are you going to do? Zibe pops the bulwark on, and the damage is, well, non-existent. They've hookshot an Ace. He's got a doppelganger to get down to low ground. If he can get through the avalanche, but the right click's not enough. Ace will escape. Off he goes. Zooming blade with a 4-stab to save him. And Chessie retreating as the swap back while I dies inside of the dire base. But I think 5 men perfectly fine taking a tier 3. Forcing buybacks on some real monumental heroes like the Medusa, especially.
And
No,
the Roach
Twilight
respawn.
Eye.
This is do or die for Viking. They need to try to run into the Roach pit, get that Aegis on Medusa. She already used the buyback. Misery. Has he on this?
He's pretty tanky on this Lion.
It procced.
Dire's
That's a big
turret
one,
for 100
has been
seconds.
killed. Dire's middle tower is under
Wait,
attack.
how did Toby's courier die? Oh, there's creeps in bottom lane on the tier 4s. Careful with your couriers, boys. Was that pipe? What did he have on? He had some goodies.
He has pipe queued up. It's not a full pipe, definitely.
Still sad times. But Viking not giving up. Rapier is queued for Medusa. Needs a little bit of time to farm it, but if she gets there, that might just be the way back in the game for them. But they need to contest this Roshan, don't they?
Dire's courier has been
Yes, they
killed.
do. Like, if they give this Aegis the Phantom Lancer, the game is just over. They get not managed to kill him once throughout this whole game. They can't really kill him twice.
Oh yeah, you're right. 308 on Aeson's Phantom Lancer. Roche down to half HP already. Toby trying to scout with a wave of terror. 5 men very disciplined, retreating to high ground to smoke up and wrap it around their enemies. Long journey, the path, and the line is drawn. We're not using Google Maps here, we're following Zibe. His route is accurate, and it's going to backstab straight onto Viking as they go low ground. Sultan there scouts them out with the Nimbus. Perfect! The Mars Arena's gorgeous from Zibe, and this is it. Lights out as Viking are getting slaughtered. The buybacks and the TPs to the outpost, but what can they bloody do, Lacoste? They've been a Missile Bladed stun, and they clear up the Medusa as easy as you like. And dominating PL will find another with a double on that poor Venge, and GG's called. Boom's tiny. Will he die before the throne falls? It looks like he might just. Aims for the right clicks and a double kill for Chessie. Continue their streaks into the end of the game.
Yeah, 5 men, they played this one really well. Laning stage was on point.